Hi everybody, thank you for watching this video produced by CMM Legal Services. We are a elder estate and special needs planning firm located in Andover, Massachusetts, and we represent clients throughout the state. Before we get to the video, as always, we got to go through the legal disclaimer. Here it is, 3 paragraphs long. Please read it as it's very important. But just keep in mind this video was made in August of 2021, so the information that is presented may not be applicable at the time you're watching this. This does not create an attorney-client relationship between you and CMM Legal Services, so please don't send us any confidential information, and please don't use this as a substitute for the judgment of an actual live attorney. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the various public benefits that are available to those individuals who are under the age of 65 and disabled, and those individuals who are of adult special needs. So public benefits that are available to those under 65 and disabled, or those of adult special needs, fall into 2 categories. One is a needs-based benefit, and the other are entitlement benefits. Now, a needs-based benefit are those that are available to a disabled individual under 65, or those of adult special needs, who can demonstrate a true need for the benefits due to a disability. Some of the programs that are available under the needs-based benefits category include SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, Medicaid, or Mass Health, food stamps, utility assistance, legal aid, and housing subsidies. Now, to determine an individual's true need, what SSI is going to do is they're going to examine that individual's income, if any, as well as the amount of dollar value assets they have to determine if they fall under the maximum limits established by that program. Now, entitlement benefits, on the other hand, are those types of public benefits that are available to individuals who have earned their entitlement to them. Now, you may have heard these benefits in the past called earned benefits or earned entitlements, but what all that essentially means is that an individual is able to apply and receive benefits from a program because they have worked long enough and paid taxes long enough to qualify for eligibility into that program. Now, Social Security disability is probably one of the best examples of an entitlement program in the United States. And that's because in order for an individual to qualify for SSDI, they had to have worked a sufficient period of time prior to their disability in order to just qualify for those benefits. Now, assuming that individuals worked enough and they meet the definition of disability and any other requirements, they're going to be entitled to receive Social Security disability. Now, the way that Social Security disability determines an individual's qualifications, at least in terms of how much you've worked, is they look at your age and how many quarters of work you performed prior to your disability. And for each age, there's a different number of quarters that you would have had to have worked. So if you're over the age of 31, you had to have generally worked at least 10 out of the last 20 quarters prior to your disability in order to even qualify for Social Security disability. If you haven't worked that much, you haven't earned those many credits of work, you're not getting Social Security disability benefits at all. It's a very bright line rule. Now, if you're between the ages of 24 and 30, all you have to have done is worked at least half of the available work credits that have accumulated since the individual turned 21. And if you're younger than 24, all you need to do is work at least 6 out of the 6 credits, or earned at least 6 credits of work prior to your disability. So now that we have a better understanding of the general types of public benefits available to those under 65 and disabled, I want to take a closer look at some of the more specific programs. And I want to start with SSI because it, along with Medicaid and or Mass Health, are arguably the most important needs-based benefits available in the United States. So Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, is a cash assistance benefit that is provided to disabled individuals under 65 who are of low financial means, and it's intended to pay for food and shelter only. Now, the current benefit in 2021, the maximum federal benefit that an SSI recipient can receive is $794 per month. Now, as you can imagine, just paying for food and shelter alone on this amount of money in today's day and age is pretty difficult, to put it mildly. Because of this, there are a number of states that provide SSI recipients with additional benefits above and beyond the SSI benefit they receive. Luckily, Massachusetts happens to be one of those states, and the program that provides the extra benefit is called the Massachusetts Supplemental State Program, or SSP. So SSP benefits are provided to those Massachusetts residents who are qualified for and receiving SSI benefits. If you receive FSSI, you can qualify for SSP. It's one then the other. You have to be qualified for SSI in order to receive SSP benefits. Now, the amount of an SSP benefit that you're going to receive above and beyond what you receive for SSI is really going to depend on a number of factors, including your marriage status, family size, and things like that. Now, I've included a link here to the mass.gov webpage where there's a handout that explains all of these numbers for the year of 2021. And as you can see, it's right here on the screen. I'm going to include it in a description below the video if you're looking at this on YouTube. Otherwise, you can copy and paste this address into your web browser and you'll be able to see all the numbers that are available to give you a better understanding of what you may be able to receive if you're getting SSI and SSP. Now, to qualify for SSI, an individual must meet each of SSI's three criteria. These three criteria are SSI's definition of disability, so an individual must meet that. They must meet the income test as well as the asset or resource test. Now, in order to meet SSI's definition of disability, an individual must be unable to engage in what's called substantially gainful activity, or SGA, due to an impairment or impairments that are expected to last at least 12 months or longer or result in death. Now, SGA is the amount that you must be unable to earn above, and it's set by the government, and it generally increases every year because of cost of living. But for 2021, the SGA amount is $1,310. So you have to be unable to earn that much money due to your disabilities in order to qualify for SSI's definition of disability or meet their definition of disability. And just as a quick note, the definition of disability for SSI is the exact same as it is for SSDI or Social Security Disability Insurance. Now, assuming an SSI recipient it meets the definition of disability, what SSI is going to do next is they're going to review the income that SSI recipient has coming into them and how that income is going to affect the amount of their monthly SSI benefit. Now, SSI breaks down income into three categories, and each one affects the SSI recipient's cash benefit in a different way. But the three categories of income that they count are what's called unearned income, then there's earned income, and then there's something called in-kind income. Now, unearned income is any income an SSI recipient receives that was not the result of their own work. This can include things like cash gifts at holidays or birthdays, alimony payments that they receive, pension benefits they receive, dividends they receive, those kinds of things. Now, the way that unearned income impacts an SSI recipient's monthly benefit is for every dollar of unearned income an SSI recipient receives after the first $20, their benefit's going to be reduced dollar for dollar all the way down to zero possibly. Now, this is something that's very important for SSI recipients as well as their sources of support or those who may be helping them manage their benefits. It's really important for them to understand this, particularly when it comes to gifts or cash or things like that, because you may want to be careful about what you give a disabled loved one who's on SSI, what kind of gifts you want to give them, because it could impact their benefit amount negatively. You may not want to do that. It's really situationally dependent, but that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, the next category of income that SSI is going to consider in terms of how it impacts an SSI recipient's monthly benefit amount is what's called earned income. Now, as you may have guessed, this is the type of income that an SSI recipient earns through wages or self-employment, or if they receive royalties, things like that. And the way that earned income is going to impact an SSI recipient's benefit is for every dollar that's earned by that SSI recipient after the first $65, their SSI benefit is going to be reduced by $2 for every $1 they earned. So that's how earned income works in terms of how it impacts an SSI recipient's benefit. And this again could also reduce an individual's benefit down to zero possibly. And the last type of income that SSI reviews is what's called in-kind income. Now, in-kind income is anything the SSI attributes to the SSI recipient when that recipient is being provided any type of food or shelter by somebody else. So, for example, if a family member allowed an SSI recipient to live with them and or provided them with food, or perhaps a family member is paying the rent of an SSI recipient's apartment or home, those are going to be considered in-kind income, because if you remember, SSI's intent is to pay only for food and shelter. So if somebody else is paying for those benefits, then the SSI recipient's monthly benefit is going to be reduced. Now, the way that they reduce the SSI monthly benefit due to in-kind income is they reduce it dollar for dollar, but they cap it at what's called the presumed maximum value. So the presumed maximum value, or PMV for short, represents the maximum deduction from an SSI recipient's monthly benefit that SSI is going to take for whatever types of in-kind income that they're receiving. Now, to figure out what the presumed maximum value is, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is take whatever year you're in and find the maximum federal benefit for SSI in that year. Then you're going to divide that number by 3 and you're going to add $20. So for 2021, the presumed maximum value is $284. That's $794 divided by 3 plus 20. And the impact of any loss due to in-kind benefits is really going to depend on that individual situation because, as I mentioned, the presumed maximum value is the most that an SSI recipient's benefit is going to be reduced. And that doesn't matter if they're living in a luxury apartment or being provided a mansion by somebody else. It doesn't matter the value of that in-kind income. It's maxed at $284. Now, SSI doesn't count all support provided to an SSI recipient by someone other than the SSI recipient as in-kind income. They only count 10 items. And as you can see on your screen, these are the 10 items, and they all have to do with either food or shelter. Because remember, an SSI benefit is intended only to pay for those two things. So if they're receiving it from somebody else, their benefit is going to be reduced up to that maximum presumed maximum value. Excuse me. Now, knowledge of these 10 in-kind support items is really important for both SSI recipients as well as their sources of support to know about because these 10 items are the only things that are going to impact an SSI recipient's benefit. But look what's not on that list. Things like cable bills, cell phone bills, internet bills, those types of things. So if you provide something that's not on that list to the SSI recipient, it's not going to impact their benefit whatsoever. However, these types of decisions in terms of whether we should provide in-kind support or not is really determined on an individual basis because there are some SSI recipients who may say living in this nice luxury apartment is worth way more to me than that $284. Whereas other people may look at that $284 loss and it could be really detrimental to them. So it's important to remember these things, and the decision of whether to receive in-kind income is really dependent on that individual's personal situation. The last criteria that SSI is going to consider in determining an individual's eligibility for SSI benefits is whether that individual's assets total more than $2,000 in value. Now, if you remember from my past videos regarding Medicaid and their long-term care benefits, individuals seeking those benefits also had a $2,000 total dollar value asset limitation. And there are a number of exceptions to that. And just like there are exceptions to that, they're the exact same exceptions here for individuals wanting to receive SSI monthly benefits. And some of the bigger exceptions include an individual's primary residence won't be counted against their asset limitation. Their normal household goods won't be counted against it. An automobile of any value is not going to be counted against it, and a number of other things, as you can see here on the screen. Now, it's really, really important for not only SSI recipients, but also those who are assisting them in managing their benefits to understand this $2,000 asset limitation. Because if at the first instance of the first day of the month that an individual is supposed to receive SSI benefits, their $2,000 asset limit exceeds it by even $1, then they're not going to get benefits for that month or any months moving forward until the assets are brought below that $2,000 threshold. So it's very, very important that everybody keep that in mind when assisting somebody on SSI to manage their benefits. Now, another great benefit that's available under the needs-based category is what's called Medicaid, or in Massachusetts, it's called Mass Health. And what Medicaid and or Mass Health is it's medical insurance that's available to individuals who are disabled and of very low financial means. And in 41 states in the United States, all you need to do to qualify for Medicaid is earn $1 of SSI benefits in any particular month. Now, there are 9 states that don't link Medicaid qualification directly to the receipt of SSI benefits, and you can see those states listed here. And going into exactly why they're a little bit different is beyond the scope of this video. So if you live in one of these states and you're interested in either applying for SSI or Medicaid or are thinking about it, you're going to want to talk to somebody in that state to determine what the differences are in terms of the qualification. They're all, it's not that much different than the 41 states who counted in terms of whether you receive SSI or not, but it's just a little bit different. So talk to an attorney to figure out the specifics if that's something you're interested in, but just know that they're going to be a little bit different than most of the states in the country. Now, another entitlement benefit I wanted to quickly touch upon is Medicare. Now, as many of you probably realize, Medicare is the federal health insurance that's made available to individuals age 65 and older. But what some of you may not realize is that Medicare is also made available to those individuals who have been found disabled under Social Security disability and have been receiving the monetary benefits of Social Security disability for a full 2 years. Now, one thing to keep in mind when trying to figure out if you qualify for Social Security, when are you going to start getting Medicare benefits, is that at the very beginning, after you've been found disabled, there is a full 5-month waiting period before you actually start to receive the monetary benefits under Social Security disability. So it's really from that point that the 2-year clock starts to tick for when you're going to receive Medicare under the Social Security disability program. So it really works out to 2 years and 5 full months. And as long as you've been found disabled for that period of time under Social Security disability, you're going to qualify for Medicare, and you're going to continue to qualify for it until you either become undisabled or you reach retirement age, at which point you'll still have Medicare, but you'll be on the Social Security retirement side of it. The last benefit we're going to talk about today is another entitlement benefit called Childhood Disability Benefits, or CDB benefits. Now, these are benefits that are available to individuals who were disabled before the age of 22 and were never substantially gainfully employed before receiving it. Now, it's called an entitlement benefit because it is based, the amount of benefit an adult disabled child is going to receive is going to depend on their parents' work history and how much of a benefit their parents receive from Social Security in terms of either retirement income or Social Security disability income. Now, for a qualified individual who can receive CDB benefits, the way it works is that child, the adult disabled child, is going to start to receive 1/2 of their parent's benefit once that parent either retires or has become disabled under the SSDI program. Now, when that parent dies, that child's benefit is going to increase to 3/4 of the parent's benefit. And just one quick note, in situations where there are two parents who have work histories, the adult disabled child is always going to be provided with the highest benefit between the two people. And so one thing that's important to remember too is with childhood disability benefits, those are benefits that could be received by an adult disabled child that are also going to impact their SSI benefits. And it can also affect their SSI benefits to the point that it reduces them to 0. Now, if you remember me saying earlier that 41 states require at least $1 of SSI benefits to qualify for Medicaid, well, when it comes to childhood disability benefits, that doesn't count. So even if an adult disabled child's benefit is reduced, SSI benefit is reduced to 0 by their childhood disability benefits, they will still maintain their Medicaid coverage. And if they have Medicare, for some reason, they can also maintain Medicare and Medicaid at the same time. So that's going to conclude our discussion on the basic public benefits that are available to disabled individuals under 65 or those adult disabled individuals who are of special needs. I just want to thank everybody for watching this video. And if you have any questions or concerns about anything we discussed, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me by email at info@cmmlegalservices.com. You can call our firm at 978-806-0881. And you can check us out on the web at www.cmmlegalservices.com. Also, if you think that CMM Legal Services can help you or your family in any way, please reach out to us and we will do whatever we can to help you no matter what your situation is. So thank you again, everybody. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time.